Welcome, welcome, welcome to Worldview Night Watch. I'm your host, Minister Sarah Everson, and I am so excited about tonight. I am definitely excited who we have with us. I say a classic interview, a man of God that really knows exactly how to embrace his community, embrace his listeners, embrace all those that are in his presence. I want to give God all the praise, all the glory, all the honor on tonight. It is so important in this time that we definitely have to make some concrete decisions. And what I like about this candidate is two things that I say is so important, and that's experience and qualifications. One of the things that people are basically, sir, in this time, even in the church arena, they don't want experience. They want something new. They want something that shine. But everything that shine, come on, it doesn't have any firm foundation. It takes qualification and it takes experience. That's one of the things that we really want to get across on tonight, because there are some things that are going to go on in the upcoming future that it's going to take, and I like it, that's going to take a voice. Okay, I want you to even talk about diversity and inclusion. What's that all about? Because one of the things about it, we're going to have to be able to speak up, and not only that, to have the facts to back it up, because that's the only thing that I understand that's going to make anybody move. So I present to others and introducing to some, Mr. Kenneth Boudreaux. And I love your campaign. I love your campaign. You understand? The campaign about bringing Kenneth Boudreaux back. I turn it over to you, sir. Why don't you grace the audience and exactly just whatever God inspires. That's what I like about you. You're a man of God that has a lot of experience. I turn it over to you.
Yes, thank you. And to all of your listeners, all of your followers, all of your supporters, your friends and family, thank you all for joining us. And Minister Everson, first of all, let me just say thank you for having me. And this is very important. I truly appreciate the next 30, 40 minutes, 60 minutes or so, however long it takes. I'm here for the long haul, like I have been in so many instances. And you're absolutely correct. Our goal is to bring Boudreaux back. I love your opening as it speaks about experience and qualifications, because some people want to set that aside. Some people want to set aside the need to be experienced and the need to be qualified. And the thing about it is that you can be experienced in some things, but are you experienced in the necessary things? That's what we have to talk about. And you talked about the church. You're absolutely correct. Whether it's the church in spirituality and in Christian growth, whether it's government and elections and politics, whether it's the private sector and private business, we have lost our appreciation for being experienced. We have lost our appreciation for paying dues. We have lost our appreciation for putting in the time. So I'm just here tonight hoping to have a great conversation, a great discussion on how important this election is, how critical a time we are here in the city of Lafayette, the parish of Lafayette, and in particularly North Lafayette. As you know, I served on the city parish council from 2008 to 2020. The only reason that I was no longer there is because of term limits, because we are in a community that has chosen to implement term limits and say that after a certain amount of time, people should roll off. I believe that should be left to the voters. And when you're not doing a good job, they'll vote you out. So I'm looking forward to my return back to public service in a elected capacity. and to continue my public service in a volunteer capacity, because we didn't even go anywhere. That is actually the thing that has motivated me and encouraged me to re-engage and to come back. People say, man, did you fall on your head? What are you doing? So let's recap. In 2018, many people know I was diagnosed with prostate cancer. I had a stage 3 cancer. I had a Gleason score of 8. It was a very aggressive cancer, and it needed immediate attention. After 20 treatments of chemotherapy, after 44 treatments of radiation, and a couple of years of Lupron injections, this is what you got right here. This is what you got. And I could tell you 173 men later have gone in to get an examination, because we know that early detection is everything when it comes to cancer. So we did that in 2018. I finished off my term. 2020, I roll off the council. I finish up my treatments. I become healthy. I lose about 150 pounds. I get a brand new knee, a brand new hip, because I'm health conscious, because I knew at that point, Pastor, Minister, that I needed to be at my best. If I want to serve, I needed to be healthy, okay? Because what I now tell people, whereas my outlook, my projection used to be, oh, I'm giving everything about Kenneth Boudreaux, and people appreciated that. But now what I've come to appreciate is that if I don't have a good, strong, healthy Kenneth Boudreaux, that means it's a matter of time before it goes away. So I put that first. And now I come back because over the last 4 years, I've been sitting back and watching. And what has happened? Recreational facilities have been closed. ARPA funds to the tune of $87 million spent in other places. Now we see our primary park, the Brown Memorial Park at the Dupree Center, completely demolished. Nothing but dirt piles. Community development has been completely dismissed. O.J. Mouton Pool is not open. The Martin Luther King swimming pool opens late. The list goes on and on. Left $8 million for a library that still has not been built. And now we celebrate today. We celebrate today the fact that the library board has finally decided to purchase land. Now, we're going to talk about that a little later, but that's not the end all do all. We got some work to do to make sure that library get built, because now you have used funds to purchase land that was designed for construction. So we can't fall into the pitfall of we don't have enough money for construction. That's why experience matters, because you need a council member who understands the budget process. You see, right now we have a LUS facility on Moss Street, which is the only and single operating facility in the city of Lafayette at this time. And that was something that was designed under our watch, okay? Because they were building facilities in South Lafayette when we know that the majority of the in-person payees, the people who do not utilize the online services, was in the 70501 North Lafayette. So why are we not putting the services where they're supposed to go? We know that we was able to protect the community from a bus line called Greyhound, a transient, facility where people would come. They wanted to locate that adjacent to our neighborhood. So experience matters, because you need someone who has the ability and the skill set to prevent things from happening that should not happen and make things happen that should have happened before. And that's what you got in Kenneth Boudreaux. And that's why we say bring Boudreaux back. It's not about Kenneth. I live in the same house I lived in when I got elected in 2007. I'm not looking to live in gated communities and big houses. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not going to live in mansion-style houses where other elected officials have gone to. I drive the same vehicles that I've driven. I wear the same clothes that I've worn. The only thing I've done is improve my health, because I love my community. I love community. And I'm going to be honest with you. This is going to get a little personal tonight, because I haven't had this opportunity. I haven't had this opportunity to express myself, because something that I've dedicated my life to, something that I've given everything. I've lost jobs. I've lost health. I've damaged relationships. Something I've given my life to. Other people want to come in and play with it. They want to dabble in it and play with it, they come from all walks of life. And that thing right there is what motivates me. So we're gonna give it all we got. There used to be an old song, give it all you got. Give it all you got. We're gonna give it all we got. We working hard every day. We in the community every day. We showing up at the places we need to be. And we're gonna offer ourselves up as an option. And we're going to succeed in this election. And let me say this, Minister, if I can. People often ask who you're running against. And although there is another person in the election, I don't think I'm running against anybody. And let me clarify that for you. I tell people this isn't a competition. This is an election. This isn't me against someone else. This is an election. The objective, the goal, the purpose is to convince the voting public who is in their best interest. And what I'm here to tell you is that I have a proven track record of success, not failure. I'm not someone who say, well, we tried to do this, but they got more Republicans than Democrats. They got more whites than blacks. They got more men than women. No. We have succeeded when we was in the position. So what I offer you is excellence in service, total and loyal commitment in service. Everything about me to this community that I love so much, to our school district, to our neighborhoods, to our community. This council seat is the most important council seat that exists on the entire council. And I'm asking for the people to support me in bringing Boudreaux back to make sure that we have the best representation we can. Because, again, I'm not trying to take out another person or go against another person or be against another person. God bless whoever. Everyone has the right to run. But check this out. Everyone has the right to run. But are you running for the right reason? That's the question. That's the question. Everyone has the right to run, but are you running for the right reason? And do you have the skill set, the qualification, and the experience to succeed?
You are so right about that. One of the things that I want to ask you about is what are the responsibilities for the legislative body? I want people to understand that that's a very critical, you understand, seat. You understand? Because what happens is a lot of things depend on you guys to the zoning, the codes, the street. We have a lot of problems in the city, and things are not, you understand, being addressed. And so it's very important. We need everybody under the sound of our voice to realize how important it is. I know this for a fact because you have to be willing to speak up. You have to be willing to speak up. And you said a lot, and I'm about to turn it over to you. But one of the reasons why I felt and I feel in this, let me tell you, I embrace your campaign. I'm for you. I'm going to say it because there's only been two people, okay, that through the years that I have supported because I knew their heart concerning their job, okay? And you are the one. Several people call me and ask me, what do you think about you, Kenneth Boudreaux? And the exact same things I've told you. I said, he's the qualification and the experience is important for you, you understand, to have that voice and not be afraid. And the reason your relationship with God, what you talking about, Sarah? The relationship with that, you know that God healed you. And we talked about it, that guess what? You got to finish strong. You got to finish strong.
So let me offer you this. Yeah, let me offer you this. First of all, I want to start right there. I give all honor and glory to God. And that's one of the things that people have had difficulty understanding about me. If ever you go through a journey, it could be healthcare, It could be relationships. It could be loss of life. But when you've been through something and you're able to come out on the other side, you come out brand new. People don't understand that. That's the first thing they have to understand. So when you throw darts at me, when you shoot arrows at me, or even if you shoot bullets at me, the reason you can't hit me is because I know I've been covered with the blood. Now and look, I don't know scripture like I should. I'm not even trying to be no minister or no preacher, but what I know, I know. I know I'm protected because I love God and I serve a living God. I want to say that first. Now, to answer your question about legislating, you're amazing. I'm so glad you asked that. Because in our community, meaning communities that have great needs, that's what I mean when I say our community. In our community, we get caught up in service. And let me break that down for you. A lot of us, and I was one of those, let me be clear, I was one of those. A lot of us are appreciated, we are loved, we are cared for, we are admired because they say, oh man, look of all of what he's doing. You know, the summer camps, I done did that already. The food drives, giving away food at Thanksgiving and Christmas, did that. The Easter egg hunts, the bicycle drives, the gift baskets, the donations. You see, all of that says who you are. This is the problem. This is the problem, minister. Once you do that and you seek elected office and you get elected, you have to transition from that service to that legislature. And people in our community needs to appreciate that, because now you go from someone who not only provides for the community, but now you got to have the skill set, the ability to make policy, to create law that is in the best interest of the people you represent. That is something that everybody can't do because they get caught up. Somebody give them a donation to put on the Easter egg hunt so they can't go against that person. Somebody gives them something to provide a service, so now they don't feel they could create a policy or a law or take a position against what that person has given. I'm going to give you an example. On Marsh Street. Marsh Street is a street that everyone's familiar with in Lafayette, Louisiana. On Marsh Street between East Alexander and Jefferson, that's the southern portion of Marsh Street. In a 3-year study, there were 77 rear-end crashes. 77 rear-end crashes on that stretch. The reason is, I need you to go into your mind now. The reason is because the only place there's a turn lane is at Alexander and Willow. Everything else is just 4 lane. There's no 5 lane, it's 4 lane. So what happens? When someone has to turn left, they're in that inside lane. And then someone driving behind them, they might be on the phone. They might be putting on a little makeup. They might be trying to discipline a child. They're not paying attention and they're hitting people from behind. Work with me. Hang with me. Okay? 77 rear-end crashes on Marsh Street between Alexander and Jefferson because it's not 5 lane. If you think about East Alexander to Gloria Switch, it's 5 lanes all the way. Think about it. Stop for a second. From East Alexander, right there by Rosemont and Iberia Bank, all the way to Gloria Switch, that's 5 lanes. So when you got to turn left, you get out the flow of traffic. So our next governor, Dr. Sean Wilson, in the state of Louisiana, DOTD came up with something called a lane diet, a lane reduction, where they was going to go from 4 lanes to 3 lanes between Alexander and Jefferson so that that continuous turn lane, the continuous turn lane would allow people to get out the flow of traffic. Okay? Now, people say, oh, they're reducing it. Yes, they are. But the study showed, the engineering showed, the science showed that it would only reduce your travel time by 4 seconds. Not 4 minutes, not 4 hours, 4 seconds. But it would create a safety measure. Now, why would Kenneth Boudreaux support such a thing? Because that's a state project. I'm on the city parish council. The reason Kenneth Boudreaux supported is because he travels that road every day. Not only does he travel that road every day, his children, his family, and his friends and his neighbors travel that road every day. Not only do they travel that road every day, when he travel it, he see the people leaving the Marsh Street development. He see the people going to Fat Albert's. He see the people going to CVS Pharmacy. He see the people all in that area who's at risk of getting killed because of an accident. So he supports it. Well, there's a local businessman, Schilling Distributors, who got mad at me. Ooh, he got mad. That's why he's supporting the other person in the race. It's because the voice isn't there, because I can't be bought. I will never go against my community. So they're not for someone, they're against me because I choose to do what's right. So when I say you got to have the ability to legislate, create policy, and create law, in spite of who it affects, that takes a very, very special skill set. And that's what you have in Kenneth Boudreaux. So when you ask, what does a city councilman does? Yes, a city councilman can put on an Easter egg hunt. Yes, a city councilman can give away food basket. Yes, a city councilman can give away school supplies. And that's fine and dandy. But you know, as a minister, the Bible tells us that if you give me a fish, I feed you for a day. But if you teach me to fish, I feed you for a lifetime. So when I'm giving away a food basket, a book supply, or a bicycle, that's for a day. But if I create good legislation, if I create good policy, if I create great laws, I could feed you for a lifetime. I could create a scenario where you could be in business. I could create a scenario where you're going to be safe in your travels, whether you're a pedestrian, a biker, or a driver. I could create an environment where economics will grow. I could create things where people will prosper. That's what legislation is all about. You got to be able to transition and focus on policy and law and be able to stand against the most influential of them all. Can you tell the riches of the rich? No, and the poors of the poor, yes. But at the same time, can you tell those who are struggling, like people who have family properties that have been dilapidated and abandoned and where things negative and illegal things are being, can you clean that up? You see, we have to do all of that. And we've done that with Operation Blight Out. We've done so much. So much. So I'm going to go back to you, but I'm here to tell you, when you ask what it is that a councilman does, the giving is fine, but you could give all you want. That's for a day. You got to be able to get in there and get the library built. You can't say I tried. You got to be able to get in there and make sure ain't no recreational center closed in the 12 years that I was on the council. Let's just put it out there like that. The library, the funds that was going to go to Youngsville for drainage end up coming to Northeast for the library. That was under my watch. Where they was wanting to put a Greyhound station is now a state-of-the-art police precinct and training center. Where there was an abandoned bank is now the #1 utilized LUS service facility in the entire city. So what I'm saying, excellence is everything. And until our community get back to demanding excellence from everyone who served, not some of the people, but all of the people, we're going to be stuck. But that's what a legislature does.
I tell you, I am, that's why I'm for it, because I am about community. I am about empowerment. I am about, because all of those, that's the whole picture. We have to look at the whole picture. All of that affects a person, okay? One of the things that I like that I saw where you deal with for single family, single family residential property. I understand that there are, and I'm going to say, because I don't know, but you know the specifics about it. But I noticed that there are a lot of people building apartments all over the city. Okay. And actually, a lot of that is dealing with the lower income. Okay. But even the pricing on that, what kind of thing that you have or something that you're thinking about, or I just kind of wanted to put this in your ear as you start moving around to really look at what the residential property for the single family, okay? And not even the single family, even the family with
Absolutely.
the husband and the wife.
Right.
Let's
right.
talk a
Well,
little bit about that.
Let's say this. First of all, just so we could be clear the single family residential doesn't speak to the dual parenting. It's not about the household makeup. It's about who live there. It's about the fact that whether it's a mother, a father, a child, 2 or 3 children, or just a mother with 2 or 3 children, or just a father with 2 or 3 children, is the occupancy which defines the single family. So let's be clear on that. That's one thing I want to say. So it's all about inventory evaluation. It's all about making sure that we don't have too much of something we don't need, and at the same time not having enough of something that we do need. Okay. So for me, because I was the one who created the adjudicated property process, we had over 15 adjudicated properties in the parish of Lafayette. Over 75-80% of those was in the minority districts at the time of consolidation. Therefore, we need to redevelop. It's called infill. It's about starting from inside and working out rather than going to the furthest points and working in. That's called infill. So that's how we redevelop our communities. And then again, we also have to be able to understand. Now, this is where it gets a little difficult, Minister. We have to understand that sometimes one thing creates another thing. I'm going to say that again. One thing creates another thing. What do I mean? Is that we have to have a balance of property values in order to address the economic development issues, the retail issues, the job opportunity issues. So there is, because that's what we do when you're a legislature, you don't just give away baskets, right? You actually legislate. There is a Supreme Court ruling out of Dallas, Texas that says the use of low-income tax credits all in one area is unconstitutional. The purpose of low-income tax credits was to be able to give a family an opportunity to access good jobs, good school districts, safe and fun communities. It wasn't to dump everybody in the same place. And that's what some people have done. So the position that I have taken that everyone knows about is that I want a good supply of affordable housing. I want to make sure we have enough affordable housing to take care of the people who need affordable housing. At the same time, not after or not before, I said at the same time, I want to have a good supply of market rate housing that will draw the school teachers, the counselors, the principals, the law enforcement officers, the firefighters, the professionals, and those who can afford it so that we could balance the books. Therefore, our schools will not be populated with a single thing. It will be populated with a diverse group. And we're going to talk about the difference between diversity and inclusion in a little while. But it will diversify the population in our schools. It will diversify the economics in our community. And it will draw the retailers because I studied economics and because I'm a legislator and not just someone who give away food baskets. Economics tell us that the retailers will locate based on 4 major factors. Among other factors, but the 4 major factors is number 1, rooftops. What is the medium range income of the people living in the area? Can they afford to buy the product I'm selling? Number 2, ingress, egress. How easy it is to get in and out of where I'm trying to sell the product that I have. How easy is it to get it there? Okay. Number 3, not in this particular order, but the safety factors. Do people feel safe in coming to the location that I'm located? And number 4, the educational system. What is the intellect of the people who I'm going to surround myself with? That's economics. Go talk to the economists. And then there are a few other things, but those are the 4 majors. So what I'm trying to say is that we got to improve the rooftops to draw a diverse population, to improve the schools to increase the education, to increase the income of those households that are there, to make safer environments, okay, to make it easier to get to so that we could benefit across the board. That's what this thing is all about. And you don't do that off of emotions alone. You got to have experience. That's why I tell people experience matters. You don't just come with live videos, you know, and other things that just excite. You got to actually know what it is that you're doing. And that's what Boudreaux brings back to the table.
Lord, I'm telling you, that is really, really very, very powerful. There were some things that I think I spoke to someone about a year, and it was the zoning and the rezoning. Okay. And they felt, I don't know, they kind of felt appalled about it because it kind of brought some of the older properties into some of on the south side, if that matter. Do you know of anything? Because I kind of heard that you might. I'll look up some stuff and I'll maybe even just let you know about it, because they were just had some problems with that. One of the things that I want to say is that I just have a different perspective, and that's me. Okay, I'm like that. I have a different perspective of even some of the people that are in the city legislation. I'm just gonna say it. Okay, I'm gonna just say it. And the mayor. Okay, I'm gonna just say it. Now, I have a different perspective of that, for real. But what I know that you're going to be a very a strong component in the decision making, because you got the qualifications and the experience. You got to know, and I'm just being honest, because I've dealt with Joshua Guillory before, okay? And I dealt with him, and my perspective is that you got to come with it. You understand? It's not that he's going to be against something. He might be against something, but you got to come with the facts and everything to show him. Okay? He came to me at one time. I'm just being real. He came to me. I do a lot with support groups. That's my area. Support groups, helping people. I'm you doing the same thing, but in a different perspective, a different arena. My thing is to help the community. Your thing is to help the community, but my thing is to empower the mind. Okay, to empower the mind.
I'm right there too.
Yeah. You know, so he came to me and he said, Miss Everson, I got some money, and he knew. He said, I got some money.
Tell us.
I'm telling you. But you see, if it's not you got to have a team. Yeah, I already know that. You got to have a team. You got to have the knowledge. You got to have the power of influence.
Yes.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
The right ones in there. You understand what I'm saying? Because that will give you the information that will explain the financials and everything that you know, because the things that I do is needed. Right. But guess what? I won't get it if I don't have the influence or the power to bring that in.
All right.
You understand what I'm saying?
You got to roll, and then when they give it to you, they want you to roll with them.
You understand what I'm saying?
I totally understand what you're saying. So let me say this. Let's talk a little bit about the community's effort to bring Boudreaux back. One thing we have to do, and one thing I will not allow anybody to not remember, when I first got elected, the mayor president was Joy Durrell, a white male Republican. Joy Durrell and I worked well together. Now, the thing is, and I told Joy this, I told Dee Stanley this, I ain't begging for nothing. And I'm not asking for anything that is rightfully mine, meaning my community. the north side. You're not going to develop one side of town and not the other. You're not going to give one to them and none to us. One for you, one for me. It's all about balance for me. That's why when people used to talk about smart growth, I used to talk about even growth. You know, I tell people we create our traffic problem because we develop and we build everything on one side of town. So no. Not only did I work with Joey Durrell for 8 years, I also worked with Joe Robideau. He was the next mayor president. Guess what? A white male Republican. So Kenneth Boudreaux has the ability to work with anybody who want to work with him. But we're not begging. We're not going to be weak. We're not going to be desperate. We're not going to ask for what is rightfully ours. I tell people all the time, I walk around with my tax papers. I own 3 properties in Lafayette Parish. I pay city and parish taxes. I pay retail taxes. I pay business taxes. And I pay employee taxes. So you're not going to minimize or marginalize me. And unfortunately, we got some people who want to just get in to fit in. They want to go along to get along. And I understand that that is an easier, simpler, better option for some people. So they say, ooh, he easy, she easy. So we're going to take them. That's why we got to push back. That's why people say, when I say bring Boudreaux back, they say we don't want to bring back nothing old. I ain't old. I'm 55 years old. They want to say, oh, no, don't bring Boudreaux. He did it already. Well, since when experience doesn't matter? Deion Sanders did it too. You see what Deion doing right now, huh? You know, I ain't never seen no rookie quarterback win the Super Bowl. You know, you got to have someone who know what they're doing and know when they arrive, they're ready. It ain't no learning curve. It ain't where the restroom's located. It's somebody, you see, and that's what they don't want. They don't want someone who's going to come there, hit the ground running, and pick up where they left off. And demand, and not only demand it, because I don't want it to sound like it's a force. We are strategic in our skill set and our ability to get it done. Again, you have to have an appreciation for how we was able to keep Greyhound off of Moss and Matthew and create that police station. You got to have an appreciation for how we was able to take that abandoned bank and turn it into the #1 LUS facility. You got to have an appreciation on how we was able to stop $22 million from going to drainage and peeling off $8 million for the Northeast Library and $4 million for Karen Crow improvements. You got to, if you got to stop for a second, you got to remove the emotions and pay attention. That's what this is about. This ain't about an individual. It's about a skill set. So that's what we bring. So you're absolutely correct. You know, to speak of the current mayor president, Josh Guillory is who he is. Well, let me take that back. Let's get real for a second. Josh Guillory is not who he is. Because I remember the Josh Guillory that ran against Clay Higgins for Congress. I remember the Josh Guillory who was looking forward to working with President Obama. I remember the Josh Guillory who said the Affordable Care Act was an excellent document. It just needed improvement. But when Josh got whipped by Clay Higgins so bad, the word came back that Josh Guillory wasn't Republican enough. And he said, oh, y'all need me to be bad. And he became one of them Trump-type Republicans, okay? And that's what made him successful in Lafayette, is because he will literally destroy our community in particular, convince a few people to go along with him, but yet the record don't show anything. Community development gone, recreational facilities have been privatized. You know, the chief of minority affairs have been fired. The list goes on and on. Okay, you could dress it up like you want. That's for people who don't want to talk about it. But so Josh Guillory became what he needed to become to get elected. Then I talked to some of Josh Guillory classmates back in Alexandria, Louisiana, who say they don't even recognize him anymore. They don't know who that is because they knew a guy who was really nice. And now they see this person who has done what he needed to do to become the mayor president of that. And that's fine. Because guess what? I could work with Josh Guillory too if he survives. But if that happens, we ain't begging for nothing. We ain't bowing down, and we ain't going home early. We going to do this thing the right way to get the things that we have earned, that we deserve, and that our tax dollars have paid for in Macomb and Vise, in Freetown and Puerto Rico, in Laplace, in Oakbourne, in the Garden District, in North Lafayette, in Northeast. We're going to get our fair share. And that's what you get in Kenneth Boudreaux.
That's right. I'm telling you, I like it. I like it. I really do. One of the things that we all have to consider is as we go forward, we have to be willing. Like you said, nobody's begging for anything. And so I know even to get you, look, even to get you, I know you're busy. I know you're busy. But let me tell you, you don't even remember. I remember when I first went. You were in the building that's downtown. You were there, but also your brother. And the reason why Project Self started is because you guys allowed me to be in the first recreational center. You understand? To help. So one of the things about me, I never forget who helped me. You understand what I'm saying? And when I said help me, it was that you saw my heart, my burden for people, and you guys opened up that door. And that's been since 2003 that I actually started. You know what I'm saying, sir?
Let me say this. And
okay.
If we could, this I think this is a perfect way to end, because I thank you for that. I thank you for that memory, Minister, and I thank you for what we're doing here tonight. So 2 things. We've been doing this for a while. And some people, they're attempting to use that against us because they say we all, they want to say experience does not matter. Success does not matter. Proven leadership does not matter. You see, that's not just a statement on a push card. I could back it up. When I say proven leadership, I could show it to you. When I say successful service, I could show it to you. Okay, that's not just a statement on a push card. I could show that, right? So that's one thing. So thank you for that. And the fact that we started early and we have done it well for a long period of time, since when that has become a bad thing? Since when that is not something that should be praised and encouraged? Since when we start pushing our elder statement out the way? Look, I have bring young people. I mentor young people all over this place because I know at some point we got to pass the baton on, but we got to pass it on when we know they're ready. We can't just put it in the hands of somebody just because. So that's something I wanted to say. Now, this is what I would like to end with, Minister. I believe, this is my personal opinion, I believe that anyone who offers themselves up to run for public office has some good in them. That is, let me tell you something, that's not easy to do. Like I said, everybody has the right to run, but are you running for the right reason? But anyone who offers themselves up, God bless you. Okay? I believe there is good in every candidate for any office anywhere. There are nice people. What I desire to do is get beyond the niceness and find out who is qualified, who is competent, and who is experienced. That's where we got to get. So, for instance, I cannot vote, support, or endorse someone just because we went to school together. They was my classmate. I can't do that. Now, can we go eat pizza together? Absolutely. Can we go get a hamburger? Yes, let's go. Can we tailgate together anytime you want? But when I'm about to send you to City Hall, to the state capitol, or to the United States Congress, I need you to be competent, qualified, and experienced. Because that's the only people who succeed in those environments. I cannot vote, support or endorse someone because we blood relative. That's my cousin. We got to get beyond that. I need people to understand that. We could love our cousin. We could help our cousins. We could be there for our cousins. We could look forward to the family reunions with our cousins. But I cannot send my cousin to City Hall, the state capitol, or the United States Congress just because we're related, knowing they cannot do what they're able to do, what needs to be done. So the question I leave you with is this. Would you send your classmates, your cousin, or your neighbor or friend to perform your open heart surgery just because y'all know each other that when you need heart replacement? You ain't gonna do that. Would you allow them to work on the engine of your car that you drive every day because you know them? You ain't gonna do that. Would you allow them to take care of your children when you know they ain't worth caca? Well, why would you send them to represent an entire community when you know they don't have the skill set to do it? So what I'm offering to you, minister, again, because, you know, I hope you realize, and look, as much as I appreciate you and thank you for this, you're going to take some licks having Kenneth Boudreaux, but I know you're prepared for that. You look, that's a small matter, you know, because Boudreaux is who he is. I ain't changing for nobody. Shirley and Aaron Boudreaux raised a hell of a man. Imelda and Murphy Boudreaux, my grandparents, was just amazing. Julia and Amos Aldridge is not to be questioned, okay? My grandmother, Julia Aldridge, took the first black girl to girls' state in the state of Louisiana history. Okay, she was the secretary of the NAACP when Helmer Constantine them infiltrated and integrated SLI. I mean, the lineage is amazing. Imelda Boudreaux was a cafeteria worker. Murphy Boudreaux was a grass cutting. He was one of the first black police officers in Lafayette. Where I come from, I am who I am. You want to talk about homegrown from Macomb? 12th and Plum, baby. 12th and Plum, never left. Okay? When you want to talk about the north side, never left. I'm on East Alexander right now. I went from 12th and Plum to 714 and a half South Sterling Street to 207 East Alexander Street. I just went further north. I didn't leave town. I didn't go south. I didn't go to another school. I went where I was supposed to go. And until we be intentional about these things, we're going to continue to be failed. So that's what you have. So I just tell you that we got to get beyond relatives and relationships and classmates. We got to start sending people to do a job that we know is competent, qualified, and experienced to do a job because experience matters. And at that point, we could then start expecting better results. So minister, I thank you. You don't. I thank you so much. I appreciate you for this time, for this interview. I mean, it's been long overdue. You know, normally I'm on your side of the mic, right? But thank you for this. And to your listeners, to the entire audience, those who are here, I hope you've got a better snapshot. And I hope that we could get the results we desire. God bless each of you.
Right. Thank you so much, sir, for being with us on tonight. Thank you all that came in. We're definitely going to push it. It's going to actually be run again at 12 noon on Thursday. God bless you, man of God. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm waiting for me to be able to vote. Amen. God bless everybody. Good night. And thank you so much, sir. God bless. Amen. That's right. Bring Boudreaux back. God bless everybody. Good night.